Here are 14 items that I no longer add to my shopping list. One of my pet peeves is buying plastic to store your rubbish in to just throw in the bin. And I'm talking about bin bags. I stopped buying bin bags a couple of years ago, and since then I've just been using whatever packaging is coming through the kitchen. So this is an empty bread bag. I just use these clips to clip the bag onto the side because obviously it's a bit smaller than my bin, but it works perfectly fine. Bread bags are the best because you can easily just tie off the top. So here is my current stash of what I've got in my bag of things to use for the bin. There was a bag that I got with some shopping. There's a bread bag there. Got a couple of empty dinner roll packets. They are a bit more fiddly because I've got a narrow top, but whatever, that's fine. I've pinned up this shopping bag in the top of my broom closet, and that is where I store all of the bags and empty packets that I'm going to use for the rubbish bin. And then I've got this little fabric bag here that is also pinned up with some little tie-offs. So I just cut up strips from old t-shirts and pillowcases and things like that just to tie off the top of these bags so that they don't all empty out into the big garbage bin, and that is my frugal bin system. I stopped buying cling wrap years ago and just use all of these different containers and jars and beeswax wraps and lid covers and silicone Ziploc bags. All of these things serve even better than cling wrap because cling wrap costs money and it just ends up in the bin. The beeswax wraps and these silicone covers can just put a lid on something if you need it for that. You can wrap things in the beeswax wraps. Obviously, jars and containers are self-explanatory. You can store all sorts of things in those. These silicone Ziploc bags are great for kids' sandwiches in their lunchbox and snacks and things like that. They can just be washed out and reused. I do also have a bunch of Ziploc bags in the drawer that I've been using, washing out and reusing for years. So I really don't want to replace those when they're done. I'm not sure what I'll do. Maybe I'll have to get more of the silicone Ziploc bags, but for now I am washing and reusing those. I stopped buying bottled water years and years ago. I just fill up my own bottles at home. The kids do the same. I have this water dispenser in the fridge, so I can just top that up with water and we can have cold water. I filter my tap water at home with this gravity-fed stainless steel Berkey setup. It removes a lot of contaminants and heavy metals and things from the water, and it even removes up to 99% of the fluoride. So if you're interested in that, check out my Big Berkey setup video for more on that. Just filling up your own bottles at home is going to save hundreds and hundreds of dollars every single year rather than having to buy bottled water, not to mention the waste that comes with bottled water. I stopped buying paper towels. I actually just cut up old pillowcases and t-shirts and use those instead. I've always got a stash in the cupboard under the sink. So that way if I need to clean out the air fryer or clean up really greasy dishes, things like that, I will just use these rags instead. And as much as I can, I'll put them into the washing machine, clean them, and keep reusing them. But sometimes they're going to end up in the bin. But the way I figure it is the old t-shirts that are not good for the op shop anymore are going to end up in the bin anyway. So this actually eliminates paper towels, which can be up to $100 a year with the amount people spend on paper towels in a household. Plus, it means that I'm not supporting virgin forests being cut down for the paper. I stopped buying baking paper and instead I just use my empty butter wrappers because they essentially are baking paper, and the best thing is they've still got bits of butter on it, which gives even more non-stick ability. To store them, I just fold them up, put them in this Ziploc bag, and then they go into the fridge. So that way your butter isn't going to go off. They take up next to no space, and I always have baking paper. I stopped buying shopping bags. I've got this box in my boot that has all of my bags in it, so whenever I go to the shops, there's always something in there that I can just grab. Another thing I have well and truly stopped buying is disposable kitchen cloths. I've been using the Norwex kitchen cloths for years. So I've got this one that just sits over the tap. So that's for wiping up spills and bench tops and things like that. And then I've got the Norwex scrubby cloth, which has definitely seen some better years, but it's still working. And so that is for washing the dishes. I have a whole stack of these in the drawer, so I can have plenty in circulation in the wash, on the line, one on the sink. And then down under the sink, I have a spare Norwex scrubby cloth, so that can also go through the wash. And this is where I keep all of the rags for the greasy things. I stopped buying air freshener for the toilet and bathroom. I just make my own now. It is really simple. I put in 40 drops of peppermint oil, or you can use whatever essential oil you like, top it off with water, and it's as simple as that. I stopped buying cotton tips and instead I use these stainless steel ear picks. Now, I know people see these and go, that is way too dangerous to shove in your ear, but you're not shoving them down into your eardrum. You are literally just cleaning around the external bits of your ear and scooping the earwax out, and then you can just wash them under the tap or wipe them with a bit of tissue and then throw them into the sink to be washed with your dishes. They are stainless steel and they're going to last a lifetime as long as you don't lose them. And then I can just store them in the back of my toiletry bag there. I've even got the kids using them. They have their own stash in their bathroom in this Old Spice jar, which is perfect for just slotting them in and out of the top. And that way the whole family is using these and I don't have to buy cotton tips. I stopped buying makeup wipes years ago. I just use face washes. I have a stash under my vanity in my bathroom, so I can always just grab one, easily wet it and wipe my face with that. Plus there's another stash in the linen closet for my daughter, so she does the same thing. I stopped buying store-bought deodorant quite a few years ago because honestly it just wasn't working well for me. It was just another thing that had to go onto the shopping list and I hated all the chemicals in it. So now I just make my own with bicarb arrowroot, liquid coconut oil, and a little bit of peppermint oil. If you want to see that recipe, I will link it down below and it's super easy. I stopped buying plastic pegs and switched to stainless steel. These ones here are by a company called Pinsanox. They are French, I believe. They are the best peg that I have ever come across. As you can see, they are one continuous strip of stainless steel metal and they are 18/8 stainless steel, so they're not going to rust. They're the best quality. These things will last you a lifetime. I do still have some wooden pegs in my stash, so I will use through what I've got. There's also a couple of plastic ones, and I also have some of these basic stainless steel ones, but I don't love them. See how they just don't hold things in place properly? They're cheaper. I've got some in there, so I will use what I've got, but if I ever need more, I will be getting more of the Pinsanox. And since it is rainy outside at the moment, that's why I've got a few things air drying inside because I don't even own a clothes dryer. I'll leave a link for these down below if you're interested. They are expensive. I think they work out to be like $2.50 a peg or something. But in my opinion, they're so worth it because how much would you spend on plastic pegs or even wooden pegs in your lifetime? I have never actually bought disposable lint rollers. When I was younger and left home, I was in search of one of those lint brushes like my mum always had, but I never found one quite as good. And so when I came across the Norwex lint mitt, I've been loving that and using that ever since. So you literally just put it across your clothes and then you can get all of the lint off. And so that is reusable and that is going to last me for years and years. I stopped buying disposable period products and now I mostly just use the period undies because they're so comfy and easy to rinse out, throw in the washing machine. My daughter loves them as well. They're really great for teenage girls. I do have a box of organic tampons just in case, but honestly, I just use these most of the time. I have tried the reusable liners. I got a whole bunch off Etsy quite a few years ago, but I didn't like them because they kept moving around. I just prefer the undie style. It's easy and it's comfortable. So what items have you eliminated from your shopping list just by coming up with a simpler or reusable alternative? Let me know in the comments because I'm always looking for fresh ideas.